Hello everyone and welcome back to Body Connection Project. Have you ever trained with gymnastic rings before? If not, this is the perfect place to start. I will show you a beginner-friendly workout in order for you to build strength, stability and control. Especially in the beginning, the rings can feel unstable and very shaky, but this is why they're very powerful in order for you to build a real functional strength. Stay with me and by the end of this lesson, you will have all the knowledge and the foundation in order for you to get better. So now, let's set the rings up and let's get started. When it comes to set up your rings, there is three important keys that we want to check, especially for our safety. The first thing is going to be being able to have a solid structure where you can hang the rings. It can be a pull-up bar, can be a tree branch, can also be a metal pole. It's important that it's very stable so that you don't fall off. The second thing, especially for beginners, we want to be able to have a rings at the waistline. In this way, for example, it's much more easy for us to perform the move. We can plan and decide how much weight we want to put in the rings. And number three, especially if you don't have rings like this, is to be able to check that your rings and straps are always in the even level. Sometimes, especially if you have a zip, when you can go up and down, it can be uneven. This can also lead to the injury, malfunction of the muscle. But for example, we have numbers. For us, it's much more easy. We use an easy clip. So we have numbers and we can have them in the same line. That's it. So now let's warm up. Now that we see the setup, it's time to warm up. When it comes to warm up, it's very important that we work on joint preparation and activation for safety and without risk of injury. So when it comes to warm up, the first thing we want to do is being able to warm up our shoulders and do some circles. You see, when it comes to circles, we can go on one side, opposite side, we can do bigger circles as long as we activate the shoulders and keep moving. We can also use the band, but this, for example, will be enough in order for me to be able to feel the movements of my shoulders and keep them active. Then from here, I can go all the way up, bring them down, try to make the shoulders all the way open. One side, opposite side, and make them feel work. Second thing we want to check is going to be a wrist. You see, when it comes to wrist, we will talk about rotation, so being able to warm up the wrist in each direction, front and back. Out of the rotation, we also have flexion and extension of the wrist, so we can also work on that. Flexing, extending, we can use palms up. We can close a fist. Here, for example, when you do this type of movement, you will also see and feel your forearm warming up, forearm. Okay, so combine both of them. Rotation, flexion and extension. Then, for example, we want to work on scapula. When it comes to scapula, we can do also scapula pulls or scapula pull-ups where we hang from the bar and slowly start activating the scapula. So here, for example, we have a pull-up bar. I'm gonna face backward so that you can see. Once I'm here, I want to fully extend. My ears are touching my shoulders, and then from here, straight arm only coming up with the scapula. Straight arm and hold for a second or two. If this is too difficult, you can also use the rings and hold and put some weight on your feet. Then once when you have that and the scapula is already warm up, here for example, we can also start to warm up the scapula from different direction. So not from the vertical position, but from horizontal. Here with the rings, we can also do some assisted rows, hanging the rings. Then working on, again, straight arms, retraction of the scapula, protraction, retraction, protraction, and then eventually from here, we're going to start doing some assisted rows, just to warm up our joints, and come back. Now that we have a warm-up, if you need more time, take more time. 5 to 10 minutes is enough. let's go and see directly the workout. Now we're gonna see which movements we can do. And for me, I think in the beginning, there is 5 movements that we need to focus in order to build stability and strength. So the first one is gonna be the ring row. It's gonna work our back and it's gonna work our arms. Here, for example, we say we're gonna put our rings to the waistline in order for us to be a little bit more easy. There is 4 different ways that we can do this. The first one will be coming close to the rings. Legs are fully close to us. We take the angle that we need. So horizontally here, you see the more we're leaning, the more it's gonna be hard. The more we're standing, the more it's gonna be easy. So I'm gonna show you in this position just to see the position of the shoulders. So once when I'm here, for example, in pulling movements, I wanna retract my shoulders, send the scapula back and stabilize down. Once when I'm here, I can bring the rings all the way to the chest and then go all the way down. So I also have with rings much better range so that I can twist, pull, use more arms if I need, and work. So this will be the first way. Second way will be to get more inclination, where obviously see now I have much more angle, there is more weight on my hand, there is more weight on my back, and the same I work in pulling. Number 3, for example, can be that I use even more. And here, for example, what I'm doing, I'm using my whole weight. Everything is on my back, everything is on my hands. Here, for example, another way that I can use once when I build up, here we will stay with 8 to 12 repetitions. It's gonna be 10 officially and adding weight at the end. So once when I can master the regular inclination, a little bit more lower, elevated with my feet elevated, then I'm also ready to use some weight. Once you master this, you will see that in pulling motions, you will decide with the rings how to twist your hands. That's also very good, it's more gentle for your joints. Shoulders are back and down, and you're ready to pull. You keep your chest all the way up, you wanna squeeze your back. Now that we have this, we're gonna go with second movement. Second movement is gonna be a ring push-up. Ring push-up, we're gonna do the same. I'm gonna stand again in the middle of the rings. This time I'm not leaning backward, I'm gonna lean forward. Now the more I walk, okay, the more it's gonna be easy because the less angle I have, okay, the more I incline or put the rings down, the more harder it's gonna be. So once when I'm here in this position, I want then elevate my feet, go up on my toes, put the rings close to me and let my body drop down. I wanna keep my core engaged, squeeze my glutes, then push all the way and come up, all the way down. The core is always engaged, press, coming all the way down. Also here, the more you walk, the more it's gonna be easy. The more you let the rings down, the more it's gonna be difficult. Or, in this case, if I wanna put the rings down, I have my stalwart bars, what I can walk through, and I can decide to put more weight. You see now, all my weight is here. From here, I'm gonna let everything come down, everything's on my shoulders, chest, and then I press and come all the way back. Slow to draw down. Also, you're gonna learn how to be stable and at range. Same for here. This will be the second way. Way number 3 is gonna be, again, elevated my feet. And number 4 can also be to add some external weight. This will be the second move. Move number 3, for example, we're gonna work on plank support. Once when you have plank support, this is gonna be very crucial for us to work on our core, but in the same time, to start something a little bit more challenging that is gonna be stability for the dips that we're gonna do later as the next move. Rings are set up high in that way, high but also low, because I'm touching with my feet. The reason why I wanna touch with my feet, especially in the beginning, is because if I'm not used to hold the support, right, I'm gonna be shaky, my hands wanna open and go on the side. By having my toes on my legs, on the feet, I can slowly decide to put, you see, I push my scapula down, I put the hands close to me, I go with one foot touching and then now going up. You see now my feet are not touching, but I'm at least, if something happens, I can always press down and hold with the toes. Here, for example, we don't repeat this for reps. It's an isometric hold. We're gonna hold this from 10 to 15 to even 20 or even 30 seconds once when we build up. Here, very important, posterior pelvis tilt, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the core. Once when you have this movement, we're ready for move number 4. It is gonna be a negative dip. Negative dip, same what we did before, but this time we're gonna add some motion. We're gonna use a bantam strain. So before was just an isometric hold, when we hold the position for time. Now we're gonna do the same. We're going to put our hands close to our waistline. We're gonna go up on our toes. We put our hands close, we lock our elbows in, we depress the shoulders, or we press the scapula all the way down. Go first one, once when you have 2, we are ready. Now when we have this, what we wanna do is let the body slightly lean 2, 3 down, and then we stand up and we complete the move. So you see, what we're doing now is just to slowly build up the motion and working on the negative. And yes, in the beginning, I'm still using my legs on the floor because I want to build up the movement. And once when I have that, so first we're going to do one more with touching the floor. So here I'm not holding, then I go down, I slowly, you see, I can decide to don't put anything, feel comfortable in this position and drop. You will see that these negatives, you will build up the motions, you will build up the range, you will build up the repetitions that can be from 8 to 12. You will become stronger. Your arms, your triceps, your shoulders gonna become stronger, and then you can go from all the way, from down position to pushing all the way up. You can use the negative and you can come all the way up. So dips will be move number 4. After this, we have another important movement. And for that, for example, we will have to set up the rings a little bit higher. Set up the rings a little bit higher and we're ready for move number 5. You see here, we just want to work on the dead hang, being able to hanging from the rings and at the same time do some scapula activation. You see, when it comes to using the rings and unlocking dips and pull-ups, it's really important that you also understand how the scapula need to work and how to condition the scapula. Here, for example, I'm going to show you first from the front and then from the back. I'm going to keep the rings, let my body all the way relax. Once when I'm all relaxed, okay, this will be my first move to master. Okay, I can keep my legs in the back, I can keep my legs in the front. Again, the good thing, once when you play with the rings, you decide, see, if you have a pull-up bar, it's a little bit more difficult because the pull-up bar is fixed. For example, this is 2.30 meters. I really need to have something, a bench under, in order for me to do. Here, I decide how high, how low I can go. So if this will be, for example, too high, what I can do is touch at least with my toe. If this will be too low, what I can do is simply raise my legs. So I just want to be able to hold, being able to hold in a dead position, like completely relaxed and working on my grip. Like I said before, the grip is one of the weakest points that we have. We're not used to grip something, hold something for a long time. Now, the second part, once you become better in just working on this dead hang, holding, we're gonna work on the scapula activation. It's crucial for your next movements, something like pull-up, front lever, to learn how to activate and stabilize the scapula and also how to engage your lats. For example, here, once we have this dead hang, the only one thing we want to do, we can also use the legs on the floor, is to be able to pull all the way up with the scapula and come all the way down. You see, this is not a bad arm pull. I'm only lifting up from the scapula to show you how it's gonna be from the side or from the back. I'm not pulling with my arms. The only thing I want to do from completely elevated scapula from dead hang, what I want to do is depress and retract in the same time, depress the scapula, send the scapula all the way down. So retract is gonna be hard, but it's gonna come in automatic feature. So once when I'm here, imagine that your ears are almost touching or even touching the shoulders. From here, you wanna be all the way up. You hold for a few seconds and then come all the way down. You come up, you hold for a few seconds and come down. You will see that this is one of the crucial movements, especially when it comes to pull-ups, especially when it comes to activate your lats for the front lever. This is something we're gonna do in the next video. It's really important to stabilize the scapula and be able to hold. That's it. There was 5 movements, in my opinion, the best one that you can do if you're completely beginner, if you start using the rings. And that's to build up the strength, the bent arm strength, also working on the straight arm, working on some support. So we have the ring rows, we have the ring push-ups, then we have ring support. We just have to keep your arms close to you. You will see that this is just the beginning. You will shake, but the more you get advanced, you will see that in calisthenics, when it comes to straight arm exercise, when you externally rotate your hands, then you will fully lock the bicep tendon, you will fully lock the biceps, and the arms, the elbow will be locked. This is much more difficult, but this is something that we can use for future movements. So slowly build up, be patient, and you see the thing will come. Number 4 is gonna be a negative dip, that after is gonna be unlocked into the dips, okay? Also with dips, we have negative motion, negative position. Then we can also use leg assisted, when I can also try to come up with the leg. Then I can also use band assisted. And then to finish again like before, full range and also weighted. So this more or less are steps. Then to finish, we have dead hang, just holding, working on a grip, and also using some core. And in the same time, try to working on the scapula. So being able to depress the scapula all the way down, activate the scapula in order for us to be ready for the next move. Now that we had full body workout with only 5 movements, it's time to finally cool down. It's really important that every time you do any kind of workout, you take time, even 5 minutes, 10 minutes, to cool down your muscles and stretch the muscle and cool down the body. So with the rings, it's pretty easy. We're gonna focus on 4 movements. First one is gonna be opening all the way the shoulders. So here, for example, the good thing is that I can decide how much weight, because my weights are still on my feet. I can decide how much I want to lean. You see, if I will let my back completely collapse, it will focus more on my stretching on my lower back. But if I keep my core active, then I will focus more opening the shoulders. I want to stay a few seconds. And when it comes to cool down and stretching, it's really important you combine also breathing. This way it's going to help you to completely relax the muscles. Once when you have that, we can work on chest opening. Again, rings to my waistline. From here, I want to lean forward and really focusing on opening my chest. Again, here I can decide if I want to lean all the way back, go up all the way on my toes, or keep my feet fully down. And then once when I have this, hands are slightly higher than shoulder. And breathe and stretch. Once when I have that, the chest is open, I'm gonna work on the side. You see, from the side, I can just take the rings, put them all the way forward, and completely lay down on the side. When I lay down the side, I'm gonna stretch my lats, because we also work on holding, pulling, and again breathing. Same from here, take, turn on the other side, and all the way stretch, and relax. Nice, and breathe. And then the last, I'm gonna open the shoulders. This time I'm gonna go more in the middle of the rings. I'm gonna keep my posterior pelvis in, so keeping the core active, and all the way stretch in order for me to open my shoulders. Bring to the movement. You see here, I can also use 20, 30 seconds, even a minute if I really feel like I need to stretch. So, when it comes to another important things to using the rings. You see, for now we only use two different levels. We use rings to the waistline and we use the rings higher. You will see that the more rings are in the low position, okay, the more it's difficult to control them, the less stability we have, okay, they're more shaky. The more the rings are closer to the bar, obviously the more they're stable. So now that you have this, it's really important that you focus 2 to 3 times on this routine, enable for you to become stronger, and it's really important you focus on control, not on the speed. We say that for the movements we're going to do 8 to 12 repetitions. Then, very important also, warm up. We say before, do your workout, you will see that you will get stronger and you can complete the movements without using so much assisted. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. If you find this value, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I see you in the next video. Bye.